Good morning and welcome to Moxi Monday. Welcome everybody today. Today it's actually going to be pretty simple. So we'll just jump right in. We're right at 10:15. Today I'm going to actually show you a process using Moxi Present that helps you just get in and get out quicker, doing what you need to do and not spending a lot of time creating things from scratch constantly. So I have shown this before, but it's been quite some time. So I'm going to do a refresher for those who have seen it, and then for those who are newer, this will be something new for you to have to learn today. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by logging into Moxi, and then you're going to click on the Present tab at the top. Moxi Present, for those who are not familiar, it can be a CMA tool, so comparative analysis between a buyer's property and another to see where you can accurately price them out in the market. It could also be a buyer tour. It can also help them narrow down properties when they're looking to purchase. It can help you make a listing presentation. So there are a lot of different components to using Present. Now, one of the features of Present is when you get in, it's pretty easy as far as the mechanics of how to work it. It's not very difficult. Basically, you go to the top right, click Create New, and then it walks you through the process of creating a presentation. Now, in that process, what it does allow you to do also is to set it up and have it be in order. So for example, this is an existing presentation that I've already created. And let's go ahead and just take a quick look at it so I can see I'll show you how we can then take this presentation and then quickly manipulate it so that it turns into somebody else's presentation with all their new data, but then have all the pre-built pages I've created one time. So essentially it's for efficiency. If you want to go in and create one listing presentation, one buying presentation, filled with all the extra pieces that you want in it, and then just to duplicate it instead of creating it new each time. That's what we're going to cover today. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click on the pencil in the little right hand corner. That's actually going to be the edit pencil, and it's going to take us into a pre-existing created presentation that I've already made. For those of you that are watching us that are brand new to this, if you go to Schmidt Video Classroom and go into the magnifying glass and click on presentations or Present 101, it'll show you how to actually go through and create that presentation from scratch. But honestly, you'll get a preview of it right here. When a presentation is open, it has these simple 5 steps right here, and you literally walk from one to the next, and then it helps you create that presentation. So in this particular presentation, we have it for Jim Halpert, and this is the property in which the presentation is. This is a CMA, so comparative market analysis. And then what happened is all of the data was filled in and all of the information. So when we were done creating the presentation, it built our presentation. And you can see here on the left-hand side, this is the stack of the presentation pages that created. And inclusive of that, you'll see in here that we actually have some of the market data, some of the stats and the details, and then we've got some of the intuitive pieces that are interactive. So these are the things that are built into every presentation. So these couple of pages here are the standard pages. Every time you create a presentation, at least when it's the seller or the buyer, these pages will be loaded for you. Now, the difference is that if you want to create or add more on top of that, you're able to. So you can use the standard presentation, or you can do, you can add in from our library that we call it and add extra pages, which is what happened here on this particular presentation. And we've got some additional pages right here that pulled from the blue book. So our presentation, our listing presentation book, and we put some of those pages in here as well. So it's not just the property, but then it does a little bit of branding, either the company or yourself. So my point being is if you take the time to create one presentation and then take the time to go in and load those extra pages in, that's great. And that can be the presentation you use from then on out. And you don't have to continuously create the presentation from scratch, add those pages in every time. For those of you who haven't seen where to go to add those pages, it's just right here at the top of the stack where it says add pages, add from library, excuse me. And then you can pull the pages right here where it says brokerage, and then it has our blue book and our black book pages in here as well. So long story short, once you create the actual presentation, it will then save it on your library page. So the home page, when you click on present, my apologies, you guys, I'm getting over COVID, so it's hard for me to speak right now. Hard if you understand me. So here's our main page. So as soon as you go into present, this is the library that loads. If you have no presentations made, this will be empty. These are just all the ones you currently created. So what we're going to do is you'll notice here, it's got his information and it's got his photo in here and all the data and the stats to that property. If I want to save time and be efficient, and I know this is the one that I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the dots on the right hand on the bottom. And then I'm going to click duplicate. Now it's going to go ahead and create the presentation here. And yes, it's going to initially have the information from Jim in the presentation in the beginning. And you'll see right here, it says copy. So what we're going to do, and we're going to click on the edit pencil in the top right-hand corner. And because all of this information was pulled in from the MLS initially, what we get to do is we get to jump right to this section right here. And we're going to plug in the MLS number of the new property that we are looking for. And of course, this is going to be for somebody else. So we're going to go ahead and change the presentation name. Keep in mind, when we make these changes, none of the original content or data or photos is going to be here at all. It will be replaced instantaneously with all the data the MLS pulls in with that new MLS number. So we're going to change this for the new person that's going to receive it. And then we're going to go ahead and plug in the MLS number right here. Right before I do that, just take a peek at the picture, look at some of that data, because I want you to see how that data is going to change right away. It's instant. So let's go ahead and we're going to say, plug in that MLS number. We're going to hit copy and we're going to say, yep, we want a copy. We're almost done. This is the cool part. Now it's actually pulled in that photo. So you've seen that graphic change instantly. We now have the new fresh name on there as well. And then now all of the data that pulled in from the MLS number is now replacing the original existing information. So Jim and Pam are no longer going to get any of the information on the previous client's presentation and vice versa. So when the other person opens their presentation, they're not going to see any of Jim's information, because it's a whole separate presentation. And then keep in mind, if you need to, you can still jump in here and make any changes to any of the data or the information that you see. Now, instead of taking the time to literally build our presentation, we're going to go streamline it a little bit, because the whole concept for today was to show the duplication. But the good news is even though you're duplicating, you still have the ability to as deeply customize it as you need to. So for example, this particular section right here, part 2, search, is just finding the different properties that are similar to the one you have. So you can still come in here. This one only has 2, but normally there's more. You can come in here and still add all the properties that you wish to compare this property with. And then you can also take them off if you wish. So same thing, you lose no capabilities. You just go through the process of following these couple of steps. Now, if you get to the very end here, you're going to see that the property stack is still there. So all of the original property information stacks that we've created are here, but now you have all of the updated information only for this particular MLS number. So still getting all the interaction. You're just not taking the time to build it. And if you notice at the bottom, all of these pages here that were pulled in from the Blue Book library, they're in here currently. Oops, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. My particular internet, there you go. So these pages are still in here. So essentially I created the presentation one time, and then every time I need to make a new presentation for anybody else, I'm pulling on the first one, duplicating it, swapping out the MLS number, and then just adjusting it, and then we're good to go. So if you are looking to do the same process here, you can always take a presentation that you've created, and at the very bottom, you can click Save as Template. That way, every time you want to use that particular template, you can do so. And if you notice on the right, when I go ahead and I click on here, it lets you assign it. So if it's a seller template, buyer template, property review, whatever the scenario is, you can go ahead and do so there. Pretty simple. Again, just about efficiency. It's very good with technology to be able to get in and get out and do what you need to do. And realistically for this one, the time should be most spent on going in and finding the right properties that are true CMA. So instead of taking the time building the pages in here, the best spent time is on the search part, where you're going to dig in and find the true properties that are going to be the ones that you're going to be the comparative to for the property that you have in question. So spending on the time on the important stuff instead of wasting the time on the duplication. So that's going to be it for today, because that's pretty simple. If you have any questions, jump into the chat box. That one was pretty quick today. I do see something in the chat box. Let me take a quick look. If you have any questions right now, go ahead and you can, let's see here. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Just messages to feel better. Thank you guys. Okay, so no, if you guys don't have any other questions, we can head out for the day. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your training team, your ASC, your RSC, or your manager at any time, but you're able to duplicate as many of these as you wish. So I actually had quite a few in here at one point, and you can customize them and change them as much as you wish. But so again, this is Moxi Present, and I think we are good to go if nobody has any questions. Wanted to start the week off with something easy for you guys, but beneficial. Okay. All right, good guys. Thanks so much. I apologize. It was hard to understand me, but I wish you all well for the rest of the week. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.